Okay.
Let me shut the door.
Good morning.
Hey, Ms. Gable, good morning.
Hey, how you doing?
Hey, all
How you
right.
doing, Ms. Gable? You feel better?
A little bit better.
Is he still on?
No. Here we are. Okay.
They probably disconnected because you know they hung up on us last week.
Good morning. Good morning.
Hello, you have reached Christian Broad.
I don't know what to say.
Mr. Love, if you don't mind, please give us a call again at 624-9723.
Okay.
Give us a call at that number, and we will be able to put you live and on the air.
Thank you.
Good morning, Mr. Love. You're now on the air.
Good morning, Mr. Eason, and good morning to you, lovelies. And it is a pleasure to be in your ear listen presence. We were talking about Black history, and we want to continue. This is our last week, last day of Black History Month. So we want to continue with where we started on the beginning of this month. I do have Miss G here with us today, and she'll be in to say hello. But I'm gonna read a past. Oh, here she is. Come on, Miss G. Say hello to everybody on this last day of Black History Month.
Good morning to you.
All right, we're going to talk about voting rights of African Americans, and I think is pleasing, it's beneficial, it's feasible at this time, being that we do have some elections coming up beginning next week on Tuesday. So make sure you go out and vote. I know you don't think it's important, but it is important for us to get out and vote, Virginia. Okay, voting rights for African Americans. The 15th Amendment to the Constitution granted African American men the right to vote by declaring that the right of citizens of the United States to vote shall not be denied or abridged by the United States or by any state on account of race, color, or previous condition of servitude. Although ratified on February 3rd, 1870, the promise of the 15th Amendment would not be fully realized for almost a century. Through the use of poll taxes, literacy tax tests, and other means, and we found that to be like grandfather clauses, Southern states were able to effectively disenfranchise African Americans. It would take the passage of the Voting Rights Act of 1965, the Voting Rights Act of 1965, before the majority of African Americans in the South were registered to vote. So you get it. they agreed that we can they made into law that African Americans vote February 3rd, 1870. But we really didn't get to really vote until almost a century later, and that was 1965 because they put those stipulations on that. And that was what, 7 years before I was born, y'all. So this was like right not too long ago. And we don't take advantage of voting today. How could we?
That's right. We need to get out and do all we can to make sure that we have people in place that would do the right things by us and everybody else. See, we can't just vote for people that's looking out for us, because it's not going to work that way. We need to vote for somebody who's going to work for America, somebody that's going to work for the people in your city, somebody that's going to work for your school, somebody that's going to look out for all people.
That's right.
And this is who we need to keep in mind, and that's why we need to do our homework. That's why we need to get out and vote. Never let nobody tell you that your vote don't count, because we went through too much to get us to where we are with the voting rights for somebody to fool you mentally.
That's manipulation. That's all it is. If I can tell you that your vote don't count, that where you won't come out and vote, we win. I win. But it's manipulation. Do not let anybody manipulate you. Your vote counts. You see it. You see it in local elections. You see that your votes count. You see when we come together and put people in that we feel is going to support us. I always say you vote for those who vote for you. And you don't have to argue about it. You don't have to fuss. You don't have to throw threats. You don't have to talk down to people. You just go and vote. Vote for the people that vote for you. If they don't vote for you, don't vote them back in. It's just that simple.
That's right. And we have to remember, especially us ladies, we have to remember the men were able to vote before we were able to vote, because we weren't able to vote as women until 1920.
And the African American men were able to vote before any woman was.
That's
able
right.
to vote.
But the rights they kept trying to throw in stipulations where that was made it hard for us to vote. So now we have had people to fight and die for this privilege. Please do not throw it behind you or take it for granted. It's a privilege and an honor to be able to vote for whom you would like to see in place over your life.
You're talking about riots, you're talking about protests, you're talking about all this stuff they went through, marches, you're talking about going to jail for no reason at all, just because you wanted to stand for what's right, for equality. These people went through all of that only for us to say, I'm not going to vote. Are you kidding me?
That's right. And we have to remember, it was 1965 when Lyndon B. Johnson signed the National Voting Rights Act for us, so that we would have no more stipulations on why and what it was going to take for us to be able to vote. So please, people have fought for our rights. Please, please, please go out and vote. You know what? All it takes is a click of a finger.
It's real simple. Or look, get your little marker, you mark the names. And remember this, the reason why Lyndon B. Johnson signed that is because they were rebelling against those practices that they had in place that restricted our voting rights. Okay, so it's always something that they're going to do to try to get us to move to their drumbeat.
That's right.
The oppressors. I'm not talking about the black and white thing right now. I'm talking about whoever your oppressor is. It's always gonna be something that they use to make you move the way they want you to move. But it's up to you to stand. And I'm gonna tell you about me. I don't do a lot of talking, because to me, talking leads to other things. You can talk to me all day long. I'm gonna look at you like you crazy, because I know if I start talking, we ain't gonna talk for long. So they don't need me talking to you, because I already know where it's going to go if I start talking. You have to show action. You have to go out there and say, you know what? I'm tired of how you've been voting, and I'm going to act upon it. I ain't got to talk about it.
That's right. And as adults, we have to show our children and explain to them that this is a right that they have. This is a privilege that they have. We don't want our children growing up thinking that if that one vote that they have, that it do not count. Because let me tell you, so we have 100,000 young people that say, oh, my vote don't count. That's 100,000 votes that could have been put out there for somebody that could have benefit the country. So let's not be followers. Let's be doers.
We got to stop taking stuff for granted. That's the first thing. We take our votes for granted. We take our education for granted. We take all this stuff for granted, stuff that people have fought for us. And what we do, we're going in reverse. We go out here calling each other out their names, N-words. You know how derogatory that word is, but we want to say it's a term of endearment. It is not a term of endearment. It is a derogatory term. I don't care what year you use it in, and we need to stop. And without research and history lessons, our children, our youth will never understand how hurtful that word is and how just negative the things that they're doing is. We killing each other. I remember we would actually fight for each other, but now we're killing each other. No, we need to make this stuff right, and only history would do it. If you sit there and study and listen.
That's right. That's right. We have to study. We have to study because we need to know. You don't need to listen to what somebody else has to say. Even check behind us. We're trying to give you some hints. If you don't believe in what we're telling you, I would appreciate you picking up a book, going on Facebook or wherever, go into your history. Google what you want to know if we're telling you the truth. Don't just take nobody's word for what they're telling you. You need to be a leader. You need to be a leader. You need to continue to do what you're doing. And those of you that are taking advantage, we want to thank you.
9 times out of 10, if I tell you, baby, it's a fat jack. I'm just saying. Let me just put, I just put my little plug in, honey, because trust me, I have done my research.
That's right.
I have done it, and I will show you in black and white.
But we want you to check it. If you see it for yourself, maybe you'll believe it.
Yeah, always be in the habit of fact checking.
I don't care who's talking.
If you can't see it in black and white, it could be just your opinion. So I always fact check. I believe you should. I always love, just like with the Bible, when you preach from the Bible. Don't put your thoughts and opinions in what you're trying to teach somebody. Preach from the Bible. That way when they say, I don't believe it, I don't understand, you can take them to the word and tell them and show them. That's just a little tidbit for me. Now, so since we're talking about voting, and we're talking about the importance of women getting a chance to vote, I think it's important that women are also now the candidates for elections, and we're politicians, and we're doing all these things, baby. We are rocking. We are rocking, and I'm trying to continue to rock on the Portsmouth Public School Board. So if you live in Portsmouth, I need you to cast your vote for me. I need you to make sure that you save one of those 5 seats for Arnett D. Love McSwain. That's how you're going to see my name. So you will see the love in it. Cast your vote for me because I don't have a dog in this race, baby. It is nothing that's going to benefit me personally except the fact that knowing that my ordinary self is working to make some extraordinary future leaders. That's it. That's all I want. That's all I want, is to make sure that our kids have the opportunity to stand against the other people in the United States of America and beyond. Okay, we need to make sure that they measure up. That is what I want to work towards. And you have to first get it in their mind that they measure up.
That's right.
They have to know that they are worth something more than just getting up in the morning and going to school. This is the start of your success road.
That's right.
And that's what I want to implement and just drill into their minds. And if I say it enough, I know that somebody will start believing me. How about that, Ms. G?
That's right, Minister Love. And Minister Love, you need to explain to them why it's so important that everybody go out, just because it's not a big race. That's why it's so important that they need to go out and vote next week.
Well, we need to, pick who we want to represent us as president.
That's right.
Or we're going to be in the same boat that we are now. Now, if you're happy, that's fine. But if you're not happy, that's up to you. But like we said, you vote for those who vote for you. If you haven't been happy under this tenure, you need to go out and do a change. And your vote matters. You need to understand that.
That's right.
Okay? I want you to know that I love you. God loves you.
I love you.
Ms. G loves you. Make sure you love yourself. And you go out and love on somebody else. I just want to get that in. I'll see you next week.
See you
at the
next
same
week.
time. God bless you.
God bless you.
For the past 15 minutes, you have been listening.
Amen.
See, I ain't gonna do him. I love Mr. Easton, so I'm not gonna work net like I'm used to say. Work net.
That's right.
All right, y'all. So y'all heard it from us. It is important that we get out and vote. There is actually a list floating around Facebook on who's on the roster. If you look at the list, make sure that you do not vote for the ones that has been scratched out. There's no need to waste our votes on that. So make sure that we pay attention to the list. And I also ask that you don't be bamboozled by these candidates. You have to know that they're working something. And I'm gonna be honest with y'all, and people probably won't like it. I'm not voting for Bloomfield. I'm not voting for him. What's his name? Bloomberg. Bloom. I'm not voting for him. And I'm not voting for him because I feel like he's working with Trump. I that's just my personal opinion, because and I can't say President Trump was all bad. I can't say that because some things he did I appreciated. Okay, I'm not gonna just slam him, but I can say that he really didn't stand for me, and my family. I can say that, and some of the things he did, more things that I disagreed with than the things that I agreed with. Okay, so it's no hate, no race, none of that. I believe that you vote for those who vote for you. I just feel like Bloomberg is, trying to block something. And but I'm not going to tell you who to vote for. I'm just telling you who I'm not voting for. So I'm not voting for him. So I just ask you to, if you want to vote for him, I just ask you to do a little bit more research on the candidates. Like Ms. G said, do your own research. Only person I'm going to tell you to vote for or ask you to vote for, that's yours truly in November 3rd. Vote for me, Portsmouth Public School Board. Vote for me. You won't regret it. Because I have passion for my city. This is my city. I love this city. I grew up, I walked the streets, all these streets when my mama let me or when she didn't know. I was on every street, okay? I'm not afraid of my people. I love you. And I want to represent your children, your grandchildren. I probably live for your grandchildren. So I want to represent y'all, and then I want to train your children and your grandchildren to be able to represent their children and their grandchildren. And we want to keep it in Portsmouth. We don't need people coming out of Portsmouth, coming into Portsmouth, running our city. We can run our own city. That's why we got to train our leaders right here in the Portsmouth Public School Board. God bless you. I love you, and I'll talk to y'all real soon.
All right. Get out.